Hello, everybody. Welcome to uh, the next Superman and Lois retrospective, season 2. That's three. That's three. Let's do a two. Two, episode 6, Tried and True, which is also the title of a song by the music group Ween, which plays at the beginning of this episode during the montage in Bizarro World. Love that little detail whenever they do that. And there are certain episodes later on in the series that are named after song titles that you would think would do it too, but they don't. So they probably just couldn't afford it at the time. But I was glad we got it for this sequence because I love how this episode opens with the Bizarro sequence, and we'll get to it a lot later. But you see a mirror of that same sequence at the end of the episode. Really nice attention to detail there. Yeah, gents, let's just open the floodgates. Give our thoughts. What do we think about this episode?
Lance, we have a bit of a crossover today between our two shows because this episode was directed by Amy Jo Johnson.
aka
the first Pink Ranger.
Yeah,
I remember when that was announced, I was like,
that's why you posted that GIF in the private chat. No, because he put a GIF of the Pink Ranger in our group chat. I'm like, the hell does this have to do with anything? And then I watched through the episode and I saw Amy's name. I'm like, oh, that's
yeah.
why.
I remember when I first found out I said, wait, she's directing stuff now?
That was a
Especially in
crazy,
the
Pretty
Arrowverse.
crazy,
I thought that
yeah.
was cool.
that was such a weird, like, sometimes my, like, fandoms will cross over sometimes, and I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Same thing when, in this season as well, I forget the actress's name, but the actress who plays Simmons on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. directs 2 episodes of the show.
Yeah.
And she appears, right? Doesn't she appear in season 4? Isn't that Lex's daughter? Or am I crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you get other episodes later in the series and also before this that are directed by other Arrowverse alums like
Tom
David
Cavanaugh?
Ramsey and Tom Cavanaugh. So yeah, pretty crazy stuff. Every time I see, like you were talking about, Darren, one of those fandom crossovers, I always think in my head, "Damn it, Barry, what'd you do now?"
I miss TV having the opportunity to give these actors and people the opportunity just to practice with like producing and directing. And
Yeah, I think it should be more of a common practice.
shout out to especially CW, which kind of I think normalized that. And now that all those shows are over, there's not really an opportunity a lot of the time for actors to do that.
Yeah, because you don't have recurrent network TV that same way anymore.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate. I mean, I guess the best opportunity you would get for that sort of thing would be like your Max originals that are coming out now, but even then it's not quite the same.
I'm a
have
Max
like your
original.
like rookie and your your NCISs and stuff, but yeah,
You're the pit, and
Yeah, I think the Pit's doing that a little bit. I think they've had a couple actors direct that show as well, but
No, because I remember when, like in those late Arrow seasons, whenever either David Ramsey or Katie Cassidy would direct an episode, I'm like, oh, it's odd to see them behind the camera.
All Americans. Daniel Ezra has directed a few episodes.
Yeah, he has.
Too.
And most of the time, they do write creative reasons as to why those actors are not present because they're behind the camera, and they don't generally appear in the same episode that they're directing. Sometimes that happens, but I liked this episode a lot. I know, Darren, you said the beginning of the season was a little bit of a low point for you, but I think this was definitely a return to form, if you will.
Okay.
I don't know. I like this episode more than most this season upon a rewatch so far.
Really?
Yeah.
I think this was my least favorite episode of the season, to be honest with you.
That's fair.
This episode just helped me realize how much I do not like Anderson. Like,
how
don't you get you're not helping your case with Superman? You're just making yourself look stupid. You're digging a bigger hole. But Ian Bowen has just been so good at playing villains.
Yeah.
So I think this past week's episode, the Quinceanera one, was my least favorite of the season so far.
That's crazy because that's my favorite. We're on the opposite sides again. I don't know. Yeah, but like I do kind of agree. I just think like for me at least, like I think all the annoying plot lines were being annoying this week on display. Like
the annoying plot lines were being annoying.
Yeah, like you had like Jonathan at his most annoying. You have Anderson at his most annoying. I don't like it, but I understand the like Lucy plot line, but she's also being annoying this week as well. Like they're all just being annoying, and I'm like, Kyle's kind of being a dickhead for obvious reasons. And I'm just like, I don't know. I miss the season 1 of it all.
It's fine. Season 3 is on its way.
Season 3 is on its way, yeah. But like again, it's not a bad episode. Like again, I don't think, for me at least, there is not a like bad episode of the season. There's not like one singular this was a bad episode. There are just plot lines within the season that I wouldn't even say are bad. I just don't enjoy watching.
Right.
Like I don't think this like Anderson plotline is bad. It's just unpleasant to watch sometimes.
And for anybody out there who's like a Stranger Things fan, there is no lost sister or attempt at a backdoor pilot episode that everyone just tries to forget in this show. So that's maybe the best example I can think of off the top of my head. Or there's no Arrow backdoor pilot episode that ultimately goes nowhere. There's nothing like that. Which again, because of it being isolated, they were able to do a more tightly knit story. So
I wonder if they would have tried. I wonder if the show would have ran its course, if they would have done what they were supposed to do, if CW wasn't on fire and burning to the ground as they got off the plane. Like my pitch for like the show was I had said make the show run 5, 6, 7 seasons or so, and then I would have loved like a Superboy series that has him retiring, passing the mantle.
So you wanted the Fraternals.
I think the twins could have held their own series, but I mean, they were like, there were multiple attempts at, spinoffs with the lead kids of those late CW shows that just weren't working.
We gotta, I need to rewrite the timeline, take all the kids and just give them one show. I put Mia, put Nora, put John's kid, put
Young Justice.
Like the Black Lightning children, probably not Young Justice because they're all like in their 30s, but like,
and what? Listen, I like Mia. Connor Hawke should have been the future Green Arrow. We saw it in that one episode of Legends. It worked.
You could have thrown him in there, William in there,
Art in there.
Legends ends with, is it Sarah? I don't remember if it's Sarah or Ava, but one of them gets pregnant at the end of the show.
I think.
Is it? I think it is Sarah. Like she's pregnant. You could have thrown in a future assassin on a team or whatever. Like
that. And shoot, or they even tease like through the Legion and Supergirl, they tease all those members that are going to come in the future. So pluck one of them in too. Why not?
I mean, we saw Bart's kids. I mean, well, Barry saw Bart's kids. He didn't see Nora's kids. He saw Nora's wife. So maybe Nora ended up marrying Alex Danvers because she got divorced from Kelly.
What?
I don't know.
I mean, you could say they had a kid, right? Like, like they were trying to have a
they did child, have they had Esme the whole time.
Oh yeah. Give her put her on the team. Why not?
And hey, you know what? Maybe at some point down the line throughout Batwoman, if it would have got on longer, I mean, Talia al Ghul exists in that same Arrowverse, so maybe Damian Wayne could have shown up. I don't know.
Ryan and Sophie. It's to be assumed that they ended up although that was an alternate timeline. I think they still would have adopted a kid.
I'm sorry, I just don't like Ryan and Sophie. I like them as separate characters, but not as an item.
Why? They had
because the fact that Sophie was just introduced as Kate's love interest. You didn't really see a lot of her outside of that, and then they just passed her over to Ryan once Kate left. I'm like,
I like them as a couple, but I don't like that they just passed it instantly. Like I at least would have waited a couple seasons,
but they didn't.
They didn't even have time for that, so I guess it's fine. But Superman, back to Superman.
Yeah, sorry, back to Superman. Oh, sorry, I just thought about this. Nat, she could have been like part of that too, in theory, if everything was connected.
Yeah, I mean, with that, like with that logic, I would have even been like, hey, give us a Steel show. I would have watched the Steel series.
Hell yeah, it would have been better than that fucking movie.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, where do we want to start with this one? I feel like I have lots of thoughts and no thoughts.
Well, So talking about that opening, where that ends up getting mirrored later on, that was the first time where we saw like other Bizarro characters in this episode, like bizarre versions of themselves. We see the Bizarro Lana in that opening sequence, which made me go, "Shit!"
No,
Okay,
I remember.
Yeah.
I remember
Yeah, I
seeing
know.
that. I remember seeing that for the first time, and I was just like, and
I'm like,
honestly, real quick, I've said this before, but this was the season. This was the season that was airing right along the time that my mother-in-law was, in like the final kind of days, and like around this time, like the episode leading up to like all the stuff with the inverse society and seeing like the inverse world stuff like that. I saw those screenshots, the pictures from Canada Graphs of Reverse John. I'm just gonna call it Reverse John and Bizarro on that earth, like suited up. I saw those the day she did pass. So like watch, and then it was around. It's literally those set photos came out around this time because we were on a break. Like they came out around that time. So like y'all may say like this season may
it's
not
all right,
be,
Darren. It's okay.
it may not be your favorites, but like this season always it got me through a tough time.
No, I mean that was me with this show because,
Yeah.
like I said, like this show, like the first episode aired like a month after I lost my granddad, so it kind of slowly brought me out of a funk too.
I mean, yeah, like this was a COVID show, so like
Yeah, the fact that this show went for as long as it did in the midst of everything going against it is truly a testament.
Yeah,
I think that's why I'm so attached to the Flash season 6, because like that back half aired when everything was getting shut down and I had lost all my friends and I got kicked out of all my clubs and all my things. So and I was just like, I have this one thing. I mean, just COVID, like we weren't at school, so like we couldn't do yearbook
okay.
and stuff like that. So like every Tuesday for the last like couple weeks that they had left of episodes, I was like, this is my one thing I have. This is the only thing I have right now.
I couldn't imagine that. I know that must have been rough.
Yeah, not the best season, but like I mean, I fuck with season 6. I don't care. I like season 6, but no, I get you.
Love the first half.
I wanted to like mention the like Bizarro stuff as well though, because I remember at the time we all thought it was the multiverse, and like I do remember all of the theories being like, okay, so we're like reopening the multiverse via Superman and Lois and all this stuff, which kind of, but not really. And like I remember at the time when it was canon, I know I keep mentioning the Arrowverse stuff at all, but like at the time I was like, okay, so what does this bizarre universe mean for the Arrowverse? So there's the multiverse, and then there's also these. So I was trying to fit it into the timeline. It's like, it doesn't really matter, really, and none of it.
Also, it doesn't help that, like, just as a small little side thing, like every show seemed to have its own set of like multiple versions of a character existing on the same Earth. Every show seemed to have their own rules for that.
Yeah,
like on Batwoman, it was literally killing Beth, having the same version there. Superman and Lois, with what we thought at the time was the same version, they just got a migraine. With the Flash, nothing happened.
No, but they mentioned that it would happen though.
Well, yeah, but the fact that you had like technically multiple versions on the same Earth at the same time, no consequence.
You had like 12 Harrison Wells and like Barry's brain at like the same time, and there was no consequences.
Yeah,
you had two Eobard Thawns running around at the same time.
Yeah,
and the fact that you had even though they retconned it later, a multiversal Ryan Wilder on there at the same time as the regular one. So
never explained what Earth she came from though. So.
They never should have done that. Like that was an awesome Batwoman episode. That's probably one of their best episodes. I thought that was so sick. They had to kill
Batwoman episode.
The like one after Crisis where like they have to like take out the like normal Alice for art. Like that was awesome. That was really, really cool. but it just caused so many issues for all the other shows.
But the other shows, like, they didn't address shit as far as the universe change, really.
No.
Anyway,
to go back to your Lana thing, though, I also wanted to bring that up because I thought that was very smart. Because from the very beginning, I remember people being like, "Well, like maybe she'll become Superwoman. Like they're gonna do the whole Superwoman plotline." And like I said, don't do that. Like we don't want this to become another Flash situation or era where every character
everyone's a superhero.
This was a great compromise to be like, here's what you want.
Yeah.
This is the character. We get to see them via this. Same reason I didn't want Jonathan to get powers for like 90% of the show, because I did think that would ruin their dynamics a little bit. So this was a great compromise of that dynamic, being like, oh, cool, they get to do this thing. Lana and Clark to like brawl off and fight. That was really, really cool. And also how it parallels at the end of the episode. Like you get it in the first half and then they do it again in Clark's reality. Chef's kiss. That was awesome. Man. That was sick.
And the fact that I gotta say this too, like going into that whole thing where they're talking about the different worlds, they drop the line whenever Clark and Lois are talking about it, and he says "bizarre." That made everybody go, "Hey, I see what you're doing there." But also the scene that. Yep. Also, you got to see that nice shot of Tyler's abs, which hey, straight as an arrow over here, but even I can acknowledge good male physique.
Yep.
But you got one of my favorite moments too is, and what's funny is I can't even remember this character's name, but the female like at the I almost said DEO, wrong Earth, DOD that has like a high ranking position. The older lady, I can't remember her name, but the conversations she had with Mitch, where she was like, in all of General Lane's years, he never had an issue with Superman, and you can't do one thing right with him. It's like, oh yeah, there's kind of a reason for that.
Yep,
there's kind of a reason. Like just everybody putting Mitch in his place, basically.
Yeah, but even then, like he's just handling things so fucking stupidly. Like I can understand having your concerns, but I do think Superman is one of those things where it's like, yeah, you're making an enemy with the most powerful man in the world. The only person, by the way, we now know in a world without other heroes.
The only hero.
This is the only hero. You're trying to make an enemy. We had an evil Kryptonian last year. You're trying to make an enemy with what resources?
It was an army of evil Kryptonians.
What if Superman said, you know what, fuck it. All right, I'm going to fucking laser you out. I'm going to get Tal-Rho out of prison. He was right. Fuck you. You have nothing to fight him. You have nothing in your thing to stop this from happening.
No Batman on this world. You're fucked.
Like, it's so... I understand where he's coming from. I think the scene that pissed me off the most was, he went to... Was it Canada where he was saving the
avalanche? Yeah.
Where it's like, Russia. I can never trust him. He's helping people that's not in America. Who gives a shit? Like, it's so stupid.
Yeah.
It's so dumb. By the way, though, that was a great scene.
And this was still the point of the show where you see him going to other parts of the world and saving people. Yeah. Again, just those little things that add so much flavor to it.
I think this might be one of the last times that happens. Actually, now that it might happen one or two.
So I know it happens one more time at the start of season 3.
Okay.
But past that point, I don't know.
Yeah. Definitely a lot more of a rarity than it, which was fine. Like I understand why.
And while we're on the whole topic of the whole Mitch thing too, that scene at the funeral for the one girl, after that one lady just bitch slaps Mitch in the face and says, "This is all your fault." I find it weird that throughout that episode he's like, I can't trust him, but now that this person's dead and I'm my career is getting defaced here, now I need to work with you. It's like, oh, now you're coming to your senses, huh? Really? So I don't know. I do dislike Mitch for the first half of this season, but in reality, I think you're supposed to. So they accomplished what they were doing, and that's where I'm kind of two ways about it, because it's like annoying character, but they're meant to be. It's not like a character that you're supposed to take the side of, but it's just being written in such a bad way that you can't. It's not like that kind of character. you obviously know they're in the wrong, and it's drama, it's tension. So
Yeah.
you can look at it either way, really.
Yeah, I don't like Anderson, but again, yeah, that is the point. You're not supposed to like him. I also don't find him charming though either, right? Like, I can look at a character like
Damien Dark.
Damien Dark, or like like I go to Negan a lot from like Walking Dead, where it's like I fucking hate Negan, right? He is a horrible piece of shit, but I love watching him. I love watching him on screen. I don't enjoy watching Anderson on screen. I'm like, get off my fucking screen. Like the scene at the end where I actually broke my heart a lot, like the way they end the episode with Sam coming in is like, Clark has been arrested for treason. I'm like, Jesus Christ, treason?
I was like, damn.
What the hell?
Yeah.
They killed this motherfucker.
But yeah, we were talking about Lana a little bit earlier. The whole aftermath of last week with the quinceanera disaster. As soon as Kyle showed up at that door, I'm like, oh no! Like as soon as that doorbell rang, I knew it was Kyle. I'm like, oh nope, because he just. To be fair, I think, or not to be fair, to be frank, I think Kyle just thought all this was kind of going to blow over easy, and it wasn't at all. Like Lana was not in a spot where she could have that conversation, and like whenever you're like, that's the struggle is like you're having to put on a good face for your kids, and you can't really process that stuff. But that does lead to one of my favorite moments in the episode where you have Lana and Clark in the diner. I love that moment so much. That reminds you how good friends those two are. And like, there's not, love drama. Like there's not a stupid love triangle between Lana, Clark, Lois. It's not that stupid thing anymore. Like these are two people that have known each other for a long time. Lana's hurt. She's in need of a friend, and Clark is just naturally there. And when she says, like, would you be able to forgive Lois if she cheated on you? And he says, like, it would depend on what actually happened. And I'd go from there. And they factor in, the kids. She says, like, do you think the kids would be a factor? And without even needing to say it, they would be. Because that's the only reason Lana is even, like, keeping a face right now is for, well, more so Sophie, because Sarah is going through her own mental dilemma with this. But yeah, no, I think this is honestly one of the better episodes for Lana that we've gotten on a rewatch.
Lana's my highlight, just like of this season. Like I said that back when it was airing. I know some people disagree because like I know like this is the season most people said, they should have got rid of the Cushings and the whatever. I'm like, I don't know. I Lana really holds the season together for me. I really love the scene when they're first waking up. And they don't quite know how to, like, she's kind of like overdoing it because she doesn't want it to seem like a big deal. Sarah's pissed, but she doesn't want to trigger her mother, and also Sophie's there. And there's that scene where Sophie is like, is Daddy ever coming home? And you can tell Sarah wants to be like, no, the fuck, he's never coming home, that piece of shit. But she knows she can't do that in front of her little sister.
Yeah.
And then the second she leaves, they have that hug, and they're like, she's crying because she's able to let it out. It's like,
yeah, and because Sarah was so directly at the center of everything that happened, that's why they're able to have that moment. Because like a lot of couples and families who go through that. I mean, I've seen this for a lot of my life. A lot of parents going through that. If the kid is not directly affected by it or directly involved in things that happened, the kid will often be put at arm's length, not like out of a malice or anything, just because they want to keep them as far away from that world as possible.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't have a choice, and need your child to lean on in those instances.
Yeah, and like and like this can allow them both to have a shoulder to lean on in this situation, and it is tough. Like as a like Kyle defender as well, to be like, I like Kyle, and seeing in general, not this season,
season, but in general,
I really like Kyle when he's good and when he's well written, and I always say when like people are like, you like Kyle, it's like sometimes. Sometimes I like him. He's a roller coaster. He goes from amazing
like
to great to terrible to bad to great to like he just.
But the good outweighs the bad.
And I really appreciate this show because, like, if you would have like asked me here, I would have guessed that eventually they would have got back together, right? Like that was my guess in season 2, that they would have had their time apart. Kyle would have grown, she would have grown, and by the end they would have got back together. And I really, really, really appreciate. And this is more of a season 3 and season 4 talk, but like.
Yeah.
They don't do that. This is a story about how not all relationships are meant to last forever. People are in your life for sometimes the exact amount that they're supposed to be.
Some people are only there for a season, quite literally.
Absolutely. But I love that. I don't know. I think that's beautiful.
I didn't even mean that joke, but yeah.
2 seasons actually.
Yeah. Well, only one for. Never mind.
Season and a half.
A season and an episode.
A season and a toucan.
But no, I actually I like that relationship. Does help. The fallout of that relationship rather does help both of them. Is kind of the catalyst for what helps them grow as individuals. To then eventually get to the new relationships that they both find themselves in. Granted, one I think does it better than the other, but we'll get to that. I generally like my first watch through of season 2. I'm like, okay, there was a lot of Cushing family drama in this season. Did we really need it? And going back through the season, at least where we are now, and when I look back at what we've seen so far, I'm like, do we really need all of this? Maybe not, but I still like it's well written, so I do appreciate that part of it at least. Like if it's realistically agitating, for lack of a better term, then I feel like it's fine.
It's kind of my favorite stuff, at least at this current part of the season. Like outside of like the Clark and Lois stuff and them bonding, like that's always my peak. That's always the stuff I enjoy the most. But I think in terms of like actual storylines, I kind of think it's the most sincere one out of the bunch.
Fair. I will say this: there was one moment in this episode where Kyle does hit an all-time low, and he's not even present in the scene. Where Lana goes to the bar, and like I kind of knew that was going to happen, but when Lana learns why Kyle came back and that it was just Sarah, like because of Sarah's attempted. Can't say that word. But because of that, like knew it's like, oh, so he was just trying to, save face back then, or it's like that's what made him finally click. And Lana did not appreciate that.
I really appreciated that scene because I think that would have been an opportunity for them to. Most scenes like that are very ugly. They're very like you're expecting her to come in like you stupid bitch and be on the floor, like a slap scene or something. But that's not who Lana is, and I think scenes like that are a perfect display of why Lana should be mayor. And why she wins as mayor ultimately is like. Mayor was able to trying to throw the stuff in their face. Like everything was thrown at this family during her run as trying to become mayor.
Yeah.
And yet she keeps her cool.
Yeah, she doesn't play dirty.
Rises above it and has a good moment with someone that she should hate. Someone that ruins her marriage, she's able to have a decent and pleasant conversation with. Well done.
Yeah.
Well done.
On the
well done.
Along with the other female-led drama in this episode, we'll get onto that side now, I guess.
One last thing I will say.
Sure.
6 months is crazy. 6 months of season, that's my biggest, like, Kyle. Like, if it was like a one and done, like, I got drunk, we had a crazy night, that's where I can sometimes, like, not justify cheating, but, like, if it happens, you go, you, like, tell them whatever, I can be like, okay, I think there's a chance to rebuild. But you were with a person for 6 months and you didn't say anything until you got caught. That to me is unforgivable. that to me is that there's nothing that can be done at that point that can heal that trust that's been broken from that amount of thing. Like, I just watched a show. I've been watching another show this week where there's a cheating storyline, but it happens, they pull away, and they immediately go and tell the partner, fuck, this happened, you need to know about this, whatever, and they're able to come back from it. And I'm like, okay, I think that's fair.
It's like, damn it, Kyle,
unforgivable.
It's like, Kyle, you're almost as bad as Robert Queen.
Just the 6 months is unforgivable for me. That's a line that I could never get past.
You know what? It could have been worse because, like Robert Queen, Kyle could have had a whole second family that they didn't know about. So that could have been worse.
I mean, maybe they do. I don't know. Who knows?
But the other.
Actually, he literally does have a second family.
Well, yeah, but it's not like a secret one. Yeah. But we get to the other storyline involving female-led drama in this, which. You guys watching through this, you're like, man, I hate Mitch. Watching through this, I'm like, man, I hate Lucy. I like the scenes are well acted between the two of them, like undeniably. But I don't even know if I want to say like to Lucy's credit, but they do a good job of displaying her as somebody who is just so far down the rabbit hole of this addiction that she can't see straight. And that's not something you like to see, but they do a good job of representing someone who's in that state.
And which is why I don't think I personally hate Lucy, because
maybe just in scenes I do.
Sure, no, like she is in the scene, she's an unlikable character. But like you said with like Anderson, I think that's the point. Like that's not Lucy, right? That is the cult version of Lucy that has been created after years of practice. And this is my personal favorite Lucy episode, just because we got to see the good side of her. Like, we got to get a glimpse of the side of her before she got mixed up in this. Like, I love Aunt Lucy, like with the twins talking.
The boys, about the that was nice.
That stuff was so nice. When like Clark comes in, he's like, "Oh, Lucy, it's great to see you. I wasn't expecting you here."
Yeah, and they're like commenting on how Clark is a coach and whatnot. It's good stuff.
Yeah, Sam. I love seeing Sam so happy. I don't know if we ever see Sam this happy ever again. He has his girls here, and he's gonna go buy him hot dogs, and everything's getting better, and his family's healing. He never sees this. He never sees his two girls this happy together ever again. Not once. I don't think.
I mean, near the end of the season, there are moments where like they come together, but to your point, I don't think they're ever like so happy with each other like that. So
in like a family dynamic, like
and now that I think about it, did we ever see the Bizarro version of Lucy? Because I don't think we did.
No.
Because I don't remember that character. I don't think we ever saw that version.
We'll see. Yeah, because I don't like my memory of 2 is very, very blurry. Like each episode is me being like, oh yeah, that happened. All right.
Yeah, I can't remember.
You
Lance,
good, Lance?
You look a little constipated over there. You good?
You good?
Yeah. Booty just itching a little bit. Just a little bit.
I thought maybe you ate some bad habaneros or something. I don't know. But the last bit of this episode that I think we should really touch on is the whole storyline with Jonathan and Jordan, which, another one you look at, and again, frustrating, but also they're teenagers. Teenagers do stupid shit. So, but I will say that I don't know if I necessarily want to use the word like, but I do appreciate that, one of the scenes, and this isn't at the beginning of the storyline, it's like halfway through it, but how it all, like, everything kind of starts to unravel through one whisper in the ear of drama at a high school football game. Because as somebody who attended a lot of those in my high school days, that happens a lot. Mm-hmm. And of course, like I said, teenagers do stupid shit. So they hear one thing and then boom, their mind is focused on what they're going to do with it next.
Yeah.
And I like Jordan's approach through like the first, maybe third of that storyline where it's like, hey, like maybe we should get you in like training with me and this whole sort of thing. Like he
Yeah.
wants to help him, just like Jonathan was saying all throughout last season. He's like, hey, if no one will help you, then I will. Jordan now wants to do that same sort of thing for him, but to your point, these past couple episodes, this part of the season does make Jonathan a little unlikable.
Yeah, I get it. It's again, I think that's just a season motto where it's like I don't like them, but you're not supposed to like them, and it's just I think that's the point where it's just like, but I don't like it. I don't like watching it. I will say though, I did really like seeing Jonathan's morals. Like he has gotten everything he's ever wanted. He's stronger than his brother. His parents are proud of him. He's winning football games. He's breaking records.
Yeah,
but it's not his win. It's not his win. There's, like what's that line from Clark where it's like, like you tried your best. You like you are your authentic self. Whatever you've been doing, keep doing it. You've got this. And it's like,
yeah, he's like you made your way
mine.
here, and all that stuff feels kind of empty. Yeah,
it's not my win. It's not my organic win. And yeah, it's. Which I guess can parallel pretty nicely to when he does eventually get powers and it is his and he can be his authentic self and like he can acquire what he has dreamed without having to be an artificial version of who he is.
Yeah, I think it's good that he didn't get powers until that point because had he gotten them now, it would have been more of what we saw.
100%. Lance, you haven't said much. Do you have anything to say?
I mean, you really did cover it all. The one thing I did want to touch on, is, when Jonathan and Sarah are, I mean, not Jonathan, when Jordan and Sarah are in the school and they're talking about what happened with their parents, you can see Mayor Dean's kid like staring at Sarah, and you can tell that he does feel bad about what happened. He knows what his dad did. He knows his dad just blew up this entire family. You can tell he feels bad about it, and that leads into the storyline for season 3 where they end up bonding closer. It's just like little moments like that you didn't think about through your first watch through, like when you were first watching it live, that you pay attention to now because you know what's coming. I thought that was like a really nice little touch. Like they're slowly building back their friendship.
And like in addition to being nice character moments on a rewatch like this, when you've seen the whole thing in hindsight, they further connect the series and the episodes together.
Yep.
What I still love about like not to go back to like last week's episode, but I do like it wasn't even technically George that blew up the marriage. It was like Kyle's nervousness about what George was going to do. Like I bet George had the plans. I bet he was setting it up, but he wasn't ready. Like he didn't put it out. It was the fact like he went to the bar because he was scared of what George had, and which caused him like to alert a friend, and it was on him technically. He was the one to do it. He blew up his own thing.
And I mean, you look at the parallel between that and season 1, where you see Kyle like getting ready to act impulsive, like toward the mayor because his family is innocent and they just want him to leave him alone. You see like the justified angry father versus the one who's guilty and doesn't want all this out in public. So the parallels of those two versions of Kyle, where you see like, justified anger versus paranoia at what could happen, which are, two very different mindsets.
Yep.
And I will say seeing more of a, as I'll call him, Coach Kent in the football games is always fun whenever you see more of Clark being the assistant coach.
I love his, like, when he scores, the, like,
I love that too. And on the whole thing of football too, this scene towards the end whenever Jonathan, like, almost blows up on, Jordan in the locker room, and Sam, like, has to be the granddad to rein things in, because, sometimes the grandparents have a way with the kids that, the parents themselves just don't have. And you have to reach the kids in that way.
1 second, fella.
All right.
Our channel now.
That I definitely liked this episode a lot. I mean, I remember liking it back then too. But like the last two episodes were, I guess, what you would call a low-ish point for me, even though they were filled with a lot of great moments. And again, there were frustrating moments in this episode, but they were designed that way. And overall, just from a narrative structure, I like the way everything came together. Basically,
Fair enough. I'm excited to. Oh, actually, here's one thing I want to mention. We got our first appearance of Crypto today, the CW Arrowverse Crypto in terms of the cat.
Cat?
The cat in Bizarro World that we see. That's Crypto. That's their version of Crypto. We see the collar. We don't see the collar of this episode.
Oh!
We don't see the color of this episode. I don't think they show until later on.
Sorry, I was thinking of the dog. I was like, wait, when?
But like that's my favorite. Like that's one of my favorite references. It's like since we're on the Bizarro Earth, their version of Crypto would be a cat. I think that's such a clever little Easter egg.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, if you just like, oh, if you and like at first it's like, okay, yeah,
that was Crypto.
Yeah, because on the Bizarro World, he's a cat.
The super adult, he is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We see the color, I think, later in the season. It might be the finale?
And it says Crypto?
It says Crypto on it, yeah.
I never noticed that. Darren, you are a gentleman and a scholar, and you have nice hair, and you just educated me. So there's all of that for you.
Let me see if I can find it.
I think you see it again in episode 10, which is like the episode spent all in the Bizarro World.
Yeah, that sounds like it.
Are you my best friend, Darren?
What? Wait, what?
Are you my best friend?
He's like, it depends on the day.
Well, I mean, out of this panel,
you guys have to tune in next week to find that out.
Out of the people in this panel, you're in my top 2.
Because I'm black.
Because there's 2 people in this panel. Is that? Are we good? Is this the end of the episode?
Yep.
I think so. Yeah. Just poor Clark at the end of this episode though, just celebrated a big win and then gets arrested.
Hey, but I loved that parallel from the first scene of him fighting through Allie Austin's goons, and I just looking at Anderson, I'm like, Ian Bowen, you just have such a hateable face. Like, and he's a coward because he's just sitting back there with the kryptonite gun. You're letting your men get beat up by getting punched, and I'm like, Clark's not holding back in these punches, bro.
That's the thing. Even then, even though Superman is depowered, he still grew up on a farm. He's still strong as shit without his powers.
Yep.
As we see in later seasons when he's depowered. Anyway, I will say I do love what this episode leads into with the next one, with certain someone coming back.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Which next week would be the mid-season, right?
I believe so.
I think they went on break after next week, if I remember correctly.
I think you are correct. I think so. Which, there was honestly, you can apply this to most like Arrowverse years. Like, they had the normal summer and their winter breaks. A number of them went on a lot of unannounced breaks that were just crazy. Some you could get, but others made no sense.
True.
I think that's pretty much everything.
Okay, well, guys, this has been episode 6 of season 2 of Superman and
what was this?
A little pizzazz.
Oh, I'm about to say, you trying to make a rainbow there?
Yeah, I love the rainbow.
I was waiting for that because I knew it was coming.
Thanks, Lance.
What about this? No, it's playing.
Do you know anything about that, Lance?
Oh no.
I want to say something.
Like and follow for more. Subscribe to the channel.
Hold on,
I got
wanna
some
hear what
mean
Darren
words
thinks.
for Lance. I got some very mean words to Lance.
Oh,
Lance